Good morning, Freilich and Hanukkah to everyone. During the days of Hanukkah, we're going to shift our focus from Parsha to sharing thoughts of halacha, of hashkafa, a couple of ideas about Hanukkah, one per day. And I want to just start with an idea that begins in the Rambam, where the Rambam refers to Ner Hanukkah as a mitzvah, chaviva hi ad ma'od, an extraordinarily precious and beloved mitzvah, to the extent that afilu ein lo ma yochal ela min tzedakah, even if someone is dependent upon tzedakah for their livelihood, shoalo mocher kesuso, below a keach shemen v'neros umadlik, one has to go to the extent that they need to borrow or sell their clothing or sell all of their property in order to be able to purchase oil and candles in order to light the Hanukkah menorah. The reason we know for lighting the menorah is what is referred to as Persume Nisa, publicizing the miracle that was done for the Jewish people in the story of Hanukkah, obviously both in terms of the war and in terms of the miracle of the oil. However, the question that arises is a fascinating one, which is we have a halacha that any time that Shulchan Aruch even rules this halacha, that any time we have a mitzvah aseh, a positive mitzvah, where you only go to the extent of expending 1/5 of our money, our assets available to us, we limit it at 1/5. Says Shulchan Aruch, hamivazvez al yevazvez yoser mechomesh, coming from the quote from the Rishonim, that one who spends money, one who purchases items, whether it's an esrog, whether it is any item for a mitzvah, even if it's a mitzvah min haTorah, it is only not only required, but even appropriate. It is only appropriate to spend 1/5. It is not appropriate to spend more than 1/5 of our money. Rav Chaim Friedlander Nesifsei Chaim is bothered then. Well, if you're going to tell me that for a mitzvah aseh, even min haTorah, I only spend 1/5, then how are you telling me that a mitzvah derabanan of Ner Chanukah, which is only a rabbinic mitzvah in the first place, for sure I shouldn't spend more than 1/5. If by a mitzvah aseh min haTorah I don't spend more than 1/5, then for sure for a mitzvah midirabanan such as lighting the Chanukah menorah, I shouldn't spend more than 1/5. However, we just said that you are expected to spend even all of your money to the point where you're mocher ksus, or you take from tzedakah, you sell your own clothing in order to make sure that you can light the light Hanukkah candles. So he explains there's a fundamental idea that we're accomplishing with this mitzvah, as we mentioned, of Persume Nisa. That Persume Nisa goes above, is more than a typical mitzvah midirabanan. It is what he calls the Yesod HaTorah, the foundation of the Torah, to recognize the miracles of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to recognize the Yad Hashem. And therefore, it is not just another mitzvah, but it is the foundation for so many other mitzvahs. It is the foundation for Avodas Hashem, that it brings us to this inherent love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and connection of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that it isn't governed by the typical rules. In fact, Rav Soloveitchik coins it as saying that in a case of a miracle, where Hashem breaks teva, breaks nature, so to speak, even though obviously Hashem is the one behind nature, he changes miracles. And obviously, it doesn't require more effort on God's part. But in our eyes, what God is doing is Hashem is going above and beyond. And says Rav Soloveitchik, if Hashem, in scenarios where Hashem is going above and beyond, then we also go above and beyond. And therefore, as a result, in situations of Persume Nisa, where there are miracles above and beyond the typical laws of nature, such as, in our instance, Hanukkah, Ner Hanukkah, so that's a situation where Hashem went above and beyond. Therefore, we will go above and beyond even that which is typically expected and appropriate for us to do of 1/5. In such a situation, we're going to also go above and beyond to make sure that we can light the Ner Chanukah, to publicize that miracle, to let the world know, to let ourselves know, to remind ourselves that HaKadosh Baruch Hu went above and beyond for us, that we go above and beyond for him.